Minaj right now is going nuclear on Jigga Man, Jay-Z, and other celebrities. I try to do it in the studio on the live, the regular live, but for some reason when I put Nicki Minaj's profile into OBS, her Twitter account, it's not showing her latest post. It's only showing like some old posts, so I got to do it like this. But look, Nicki Minaj is going off right now on Twitter. We go back to the beginning of when this stuff started. So this is January. Started 3 hours ago. She put true or false. She put Jay-Z dated Foxy Brown when she was 15 and took her virginity. He was 23. Jay-Z was going out with Aaliyah when she was 15, 16, 17, and he was 26, 27, 28. Jay-Z met Beyonce at 16 and started dating her when she was 18, 19, and he was 30. Jay-Z signed Rihanna at 16, and she said in the interview that she was flown to meet Jay-Z, who wouldn't let her leave until she signed the contract and locked her in the office until 3 a.m. So that's one post. That's the first post today. She's over here going off. Let me get back to this. So that was that. That was what, 3 hours ago. Now she retweeted this from somebody. She put, I guess this explains why TMZ didn't cover Jay-Z being named in the Epstein files. It says, breaking news, TMZ founder Harvey Levin is named in the Epstein files, described as a good friend who could help run a global PR effort to defend convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein and smear his victims' accusers. Yet TMZ has stayed eerily silent on the entire document dump. I read that earlier too about Harvey Levin, so she said that. Then she posted this right here. It says, are y'all understanding that these people have been sacrificing children as a way of gaining and maintaining power? If you ever vote Democratic again, you're just as soulless as they are and will perish. See, stuff like that is what always throws me off about people when they try to make statements. Why the whole Democrat-Republican thing, it just throws everything off, like, because Trump's in there too in the files, you know what I'm saying? Elon Musk is on the files, a bunch of other Republicans are in there, so try to make it political kind of, but yet and still she's on here going off. So she said that. She said, if you ever vote Democrat again, you're just as soulless as they are and will perish. Maybe it's time for me to do some story time since I was trying not to say what I continue to attempt. I say what I know, yet they continue to attempt bullying. Says also, I won't be releasing an album until my contract is renegotiated and until I tell you about all the sabotage that Rico is finding out about Billboard. And she put the picture right there, Jay-Z, Aaliyah, and Beyonce with their ages on there. And she put, your favorite artist has been practicing your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in the satanic cult where they take babies from their other countries and mutilate and kill them as a form of blood sacrifice to their god. You see, when your master is Satan, you must constantly shed blood. However, the jig is up. So that's definitely a shot at Jay-Z right there. The jig is up. Jigga Man. And she says, should I do a daily story time about who's been doing what? And she put, Trevor refused to come out the closet when everyone in the industry knows his boyfriend, allegedly. Who's Trevor? I ain't never heard of a joker named Trevor. She said, they sabotaged my documentary because I spoke about abuse that I suffered. They've been trying to stall all my projects in hopes I'd lose a bunch of money and beg them for help. Their leaders still think it's a joke. The destruction that's about to come down on them is funny. I told y'all to leave me alone. Now you'll understand why you should have just sat there and taken your meds. She would imagine if a 30-year-old rapper was out there with a 16-year-old in this day and age, and how y'all would have his head on a platter. The guy was hugging and humping on teens in broad daylight. Next, I'll get on the owner of the Shade Room and more. And she put, maybe I should discuss the brainwashing techniques they use. Another picture right here. She said, what the fuck? hashtag child pre-RED. I don't want to say that word. That's Jay-Z and Aaliyah. Then right here, she retweeted somebody replying to Nicki Minaj. Says, "Yeah, I've been told y'all she don't need to release shit until Billboard, iTunes, Spotify, Apple are all investigated." So, Wendy Williams gift. And she put, "Oop, he a top or bottom. Let's get down to the alleged specifics while we at it." That's a retweet. Right here, she got Jay-Z and his alleged son. And she put, "They're flying the immigrants to vote because they renegade. Because they renege." I guess she must have put rigged. I guess. Reneged, because they reneged on all promises they made to African Americans and can no longer get the African American vote by default. They're causing distractions in the street to distract from the billions they stole from taxpayers. And she put, "Any Christian who votes Democrat again is a fool. They're showing people that it's okay to disrupt the church during worship. This is how they truly feel about you. The veil is lifted. No morals, no integrity. It's not enough for them to have an opinion. They escalated to physical intrusion of places of worship. The demons inside of them are so bothered all the time." She put it, this is an hour ago. She put, "The LGBT has also started seeing through the veil and it has pissed them off. Why are they getting the gay vote by default? They moved on from the gay vote to flying in people to vote for them. No loyalty to anyone. The gay community should be able to choose every 4 years like everyone else. After the Democrats," she put, "Democrats campaign to win your vote. They should not just get your vote. Wake up." She going in. She put, "Check this racist motherfucker out." Who's that? What's his name? Jimmy Kimmel. She put, "Everyone knows Chrissy Teigen has had a DIK allegedly." And she said, "Was sensible, forward-thinking, cutting-edge leading nation having a debate on whether or not there should be voter ID. Like they're actually fighting not to have people present ID while voting for your leaders. Do you get it? Do you get it now?" She put right here. She put, "Fat Lizzo lost 300 pounds just to sell 300 albums." Like she's like going in. Damn, what Lizzo got to do with anything? She put, "Fat Lizzo lost 300 pounds just to sell 300 albums." So now she has loose skin in the flop album and a weird charge. Sheesh. Damn. She going in. She must have got a hit of that pink. That I ain't talking about the pink that Diddy and them was messing with. I'm talking about that old school pink from back in the day. That fish scale with that pink tint to it. That's the pink. That's the original pink. This pink that Diddy and them was out here accused of doing. That's some new different stuff. The pink from back in the day. If you had a hold of some fish scale that had that pink tint to it, you turn it to the side, that's how you know that shit was that fucking fire, boy. It was gonna cook all the way back. People was gonna be chasing you down for it. And we saw Nicki Minaj before allegedly look like she was on something with her jaw moving crazy and stuff like that. So Alvin 2023 said Nicki got the MAGA protection. She talking that big boy talk. Yeah, she thinks she got protection. She gonna get the same wake up call everybody else gets. Same Negro, half Negro, or whatever wake up call she gonna get at some point. She talked that big shit. She think Trump and them like her because she's out, man. She's a goddamn fool. She thinks Trump and them really fuck with her. Peter Pan says she's the same thing like Jay-Z. So what is she talking? Yeah, what is she talking about? People, if she want to be technical, her husband has got some kind of charge of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So, and her brother too, right? Her brother went down for like a charge like that. So she got a lot of nerve to be out here saying this shit anyway. You know, she said, "Fat Lizzo lost 300 pounds just to sell 300 albums." Damn. Now she has loose skin and the flop album and a weird charge. She put Aleph laughing my ass off a bunch of times. And she put George Clinton, "Sit your stinking ass down." She talking about old school George Clinton, Funkadelic Parliament. I think the Grammys was tonight, right? Was they at the Grammys or something tonight? George Clinton. Then she retweeted that and she said, I mean, porta potty or whatever the fuck your name is. What else she say? This is, she retweeted, girl, I was like, wait, what atomic dog? Oh, yeah, that's what we're talking about. Atomic dog, George Clinton. Or that's what this person says they think it is. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe she ain't talking about that George Clinton. And she says, as they do the ritual tonight, God Almighty will reveal himself to them. The ritual will backfire on them. God will not be mocked. Blessed is the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Every tongue that rises up against me in judgment shall be condemned and put to shame. Watch. And this is my problem with all these religious type people who be, the music she put out alone. And she got this alter ego Roman and all this. We ain't forgot about Roman. That's like her alter ego, little psycho killer alter ego dude. I think it's named after Roman Polanski, if I'm not mistaken. We know about Roman Polanski. People kill me, man. These so-called Christians, they just, especially her, all the hell she raised in her music and shit like that. She thinks she got it bad. She bought that allegedly. They said she bought the Trump gold card for the citizenship thing, but then I saw something that said he took it back because she didn't make the payment or something like that. I don't know if that's true or not, but she gonna get her wake up call sooner or later. But just in case you just came in here, but this is the main part. She was going in on Jay-Z down here, boy. The first one right here. Jay-Z and Aaliyah, Jay-Z and Beyonce. Their ages, he was 26, she was 15, he was 27, she was 16. Went on Harvey Levin right here. Yeah, so she is feeling herself tonight, boy. You know, she already had something going on with Jay-Z already anyway, so this was all she was waiting for, something like this to happen. Got to be careful when you start celebrating people's downfall too quick. You got to be careful, because especially in this day and age, ain't nothing the way you think it is. The way anything looks is not what you think it is. This shit tables can turn in a heartbeat. How many people we saw over the past couple of years that we swore up and down was down for the count? Trump alone, look at his last term after the last in between his last term and now, we saw him going to court, all these felonies, he's getting locked up and arrested and this and that. Ain't nobody would have predicted, anybody who's thinking with outside of a conspiratorial type of mind state, I would say people who just take the news for what it is would not have thought, even me with my conspiracy shit, wouldn't have thought Trump would have went back in there. Not saying I would have thought it was like impossible, because but I would, even just technically, you know what I'm saying, the way stuff was going on, I thought by law and all this type of shit with his charges and stuff he was going to court for, I thought it was like written in the Constitution or some shit that he couldn't go back to being president. But look, he's back in president. All the people we heard talking about him, all these news sites, all these years, and going back, and half of them folded. You know what I'm saying? This is not the day and age to be celebrating no wins too early. Look at the Diddy thing. Yeah, he's still in jail right now. He's doing a little bit of time, but some of these jokers swore up and down he was down for the count. A lot of people who he thought was his friend, who was acting like his friend, will not be their friend no longer when he gets out. A lot of people that turned their back on that thought he was going to be down for the count. It's a spooky time. Look how many different YouTubers we saw say certain different stuff, and people swore up and down they about to be canceled and done and thrown off YouTube and the career over and shit like that. They just get bigger. You know what I'm saying? They just get bigger. So voting, celebrating too early in this day and age is not the move. This is how small-minded it is, because her whole thing is this Democrat stuff. Like, she's saying everything she's saying, but she's in the context of this Democrat Republican stuff. Right here, she put, any Christian who votes Democrat again is a fool. They're showing people that it's okay to. Once you show me that you're still wrapped up in the Democrat Republican mind state, to me, automatically, I can't take you too serious. I mean, not that I can't take you serious, but depending on what the conversation that you had that's attached to that ideology, I'm going to have to always be looking at it with an extra lens, because in my mind, you're not equipped with a certain level of thinking if you're just so wrapped up in Democrat, Republican. And I ain't saying there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if that's what works for you, and you're comfortable and you're happy with your life and you're at peace, you're winning, and that's your mind state, then that's all good. Who am I to say that you're a fool, or to say something you doing something wrong because of that? To me personally, I can't get with the whole Democrat Republican thing. To me, it's like, just for my own personal thing, that's, to me, it's kind of small minded when you get wrapped up in that kind of shit. Because if you can't see by now in this day and age that all these people are on the same team, like, to me, that's kind of like, I reached that conclusion like 10 years ago, if not more. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's had a, what I'm talking about 10 years ago, this is almost 20 years ago, I've been on that shit. Almost 20 years I've been on that. I had a spiritual awakening. That was like 2008 is when I had the spiritual awakening. That's what I called. I called a spiritual awakening, because I went on like a journey of learning mad stuff. And that's when I started waking up to a whole bunch of shit, with the world and just how shit works. I first stumbled upon, I think it was Operation Paperclip. That was the first thing I read that was like, quote unquote, conspiracy, which turns out that is not a conspiracy at all. It's actual factual documents. Operation Paperclip, the program to bring Nazis over here, to hiding them in American society and having them work on different technologies and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That was what brought me in. That, and then I think it was Halliburton, Operation Paperclip, the whole thing with George Bush's grandfather, Prescott Bush, and Arnold Schwarzenegger's father. How they damn, I can't think, was it Halliburton? I forget, I can't think of what it was. Maybe it was Halliburton, or was that Dick Cheney? I can't remember exactly what it was about, but something to do with Prescott Bush and Arnold Schwarzenegger's father. Oh yeah, they was the part of the Operation Paperclip. That's what it was, if I'm not mistaken. They was like they was part of the Operation Paperclip, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me, because fucking so many years ago, I forgot fucking way more than I know at this point. My memory's kind of messed up a little bit from the fucking accident I got into. My memory never made a full recovery. But yeah, Operation Paperclip was the first thing that lured me in to going on this journey of learning. You know what I'm saying? And once I seen the thing with Prescott Bush and just the Bush family alone, that was one of the first things I started with, the whole Bush family. And then you had Donald Rumsfeld and them, Dick Cheney, all these people that was in his cabinet. The George Bush Jr.'s cabinet was all in his father's cabinet. They've been in this scene since way back in the goddamn 60s and 70s and 80s and shit like that. That right there for me was too much of a coincidence right there. I was like, no, this is too much of a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? All these same people have been in the damn on the scene in one way or another for fucking 20, 30 years already. You know what I mean? This video here was about Nicki Minaj, and just in case you just first came in, she's on Twitter tonight, or X, going fucking bonkers right now. She started like 3 hours ago. Went in on Jay-Z that's what she started with. Wait, the first one was, yeah, I guess this would be the first one. Harvey Levin's talking about Harvey Levin, because Harvey Levin's in the Epstein files. He's being called a good friend by Jeffrey Epstein. And also this whole Epstein files thing, this is also another way for like how the Diddy thing was for the hip hop culture. It was a way for them to try to spin a lot of stuff off on just Diddy, like it begins and ends with Diddy. A lot of this shit that was going on, same thing they're doing with these Epstein files, just for the other different culture and a wider range of people. Like it all starts and stops with Jeffrey Epstein. But who the hell put Jeffrey Epstein in position? You know what I'm saying? He didn't by himself do all this. Like, who was he working for? Who put him in position? Who was he an agent for of? They trying to do the same thing with Jeffrey Epstein, this whole files and shit, throw everything off and that, and that's the end all be all. It's way deeper than that. I just seen something a second ago. Where did I see that at? It said Jeffrey Epstein some kind of what did it say, a $25 million deal with the Rothschilds back in 2015. And they're saying that the Rothschilds are pretty much the ones who funded the whole blackmail expedition that Jeffrey Epstein went on and shit like that. And I'm saying it's deeper than that even too. Anybody's name we know is not who the real people are. Anybody's face we see is not who the real people are. Anybody whose name we know is not who the real people are. Believe when I tell you, we don't know the people that really running this shit. We ain't never seen their face or heard their names yet. Everybody's name we know and face we know is not who's really running this shit. Just think about it. If you run the world, why would you show the so-called alleged enemy or just anybody your face if you don't have to? You run the fucking world, dude. Like, you're not going to give people the opportunity to know who you are to take you down. Why would you? Don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? And to be the people you least suspect. All right, this one right here, she put, in case you just came in, she put, Fat Lizzo lost 300 pounds just to sell 300 albums. Now she has loose skin and a flop album and a weird charge. Sheesh. So she was on here just going bonkers. I don't know what got into her. Some of that white girl might have gotten to her. Some of that soft, hard white. You know what I'm saying? Something made her just decide to go. I think the Grammys probably triggered her. Is probably what it was tonight. But yeah, they're not gonna. The people that it's like in the streets. The real plug is not really. You don't know who the plug is. One time I found out who a plug was by accident. One time, one of my peoples, he's dead now. But one time, somebody we knew from since he's older. He was older than us, but we knew him since we was younger. One time, the dude, I forget if his car broke down or somebody hit him. Some type of situation like that. The plug I'm talking about, I think his car broke. It was something. Whatever he was driving, something happened with his car, but he had to abandon his car immediately. One of those situations. So as this happened to his car, and he had to get out of his car, the plug I'm talking about, the person we didn't know who was a plug back then. And I ain't saying he's the plug, but to us, he was a fucking plug. He's way bigger than the shit we was doing. But like I said, we knew him since we was young. He's probably like 5-7 years older than me, and my boy, I'm like 2 years older than him. But one time, the plug dude, his car broke down, and he had fucking tons and tons of work on him and money. Talking about a whole bunch of work, bricks on him. My boy, from back then, like I said, he passed away now, happened to be driving by when this happened. So when he seen him, he waved him down. And since he knew him, he waved him down and saw him. Somebody we knew, he had him to give him a ride. He got all this shit out of his car and got into my boy's car. And that's how we found out he was a plug, because it was a desperate situation. He was in a desperate time of need, the plug, because his car broke down. Of course, all he needed is the motherfucking police to roll up. Like, so he did the first thing he had to do that popped up, happened to just be my boy was driving by. He waved him down, took all his work out of his car and his money. And my boy took him, you know what I'm saying? He hit him off or whatever, hooked him up for giving him. But that's how we found out he was a fucking plug. This dude, we didn't know he was a plug all that time. You know what I'm saying? I damn sure didn't have no clue he was somebody like that. Then after that, it kind of came out after that. And then next thing you know, I started, you know what I'm saying? My boys, after that, it was already out. Not that he wanted to be just known like that, but one thing led to another. I ended up, you know what I'm saying, dealing with him a little way back then, talking to him or whatever. But that's how we found out that this dude was a plug at one point. We didn't know this dude was sitting on fucking bricks like that. somebody you least expect. You know what I'm saying? The person, the people you least expect are the ones who are got this shit going behind the scenes. Like you see, like a dude you think he's a square, he be the plug. You don't know that because you probably in the street acting up, you hustling, running around. You probably got guns and shit like that in the middle of shootouts and shit and drama. They're not going to talk to you because you are a liability. The real plug is not going to talk to somebody who's in the street acting up, doing crazy shit. The plug don't fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? The plug fucks with other people like himself who know people who can branch out type shit. But he himself ain't fucking with somebody in the street. So that's what I'm saying about these people who really run the world. You don't know, they're not going to show you who they are. Why would they if they don't have to? If the plug can operate in the streets just through one person that he knows that fucks with other people, but this person he knows is probably his family member or somebody he really trusts that really ain't going to put it out there that he's the plug. He just sits back, hands off, collects, and that's all he got to do. He ain't got to talk to nobody but this person, his closest person. He ain't got to be seen by nobody but his closest person. Ain't nobody got to know what he's doing except his closest person that he trusts that is not going to say his name or say nothing about him. And that's how it goes. And you find out, like I said, how my boy found out by accident that this dude we knew who since we was young was the fucking one of the plugs. Because he was in a fucking dire need he wasn't about to get like pulled over, but his car broke down right in the middle of traffic. So it could possibly been the police could have easily came up and you know what I'm saying? Or anything. So that's just what I'm saying about these people that run this whole shit. You don't know who runs this shit. Nicki Minaj over here thinking she's down with Trump and them because he's the president and she can go out here and just talk shit and saying what she want to say and running her mouth. She is not safe out here. These people do not give a fuck about her. Do not give a fuck about her. Let me refresh this and see if she said anything new. The last thing she put up there, she said toodles. I guess that means like she's out or whatever. She was talking about rituals and shit like that. Let me refresh this real quick. Oh yeah, so the toodles was the last thing she said. I'm gonna go through this again real quick in case you just came in here. I ain't gonna read every single one of them. I'm gonna just show you the gist of what she's putting up. So starting 3 hours ago. No, starting 4 hours ago, she put, "Hey, what you doing?" That was like the Barb's. I don't know if that's a retweet, admin, whatever. That was 4 hours ago. Then she put, "True or false?" 3 hours ago. Jay-Z dated Foxy Brown. She's 15. Jay-Z dated Aaliyah when she was 15, 16, 17. Jay-Z met Beyonce when she was 16. Like I said, I ain't gonna read every little part, but she put that out. That was a couple hours ago. True or false? She put. I guess she retweeted this. I guess this explains why TMZ didn't cover Jay-Z being named in the Epstein files. It says TMZ founder Harvey Levin is named in the Epstein files, described as a good friend who could help run a global PR effort to defend convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein and smear his victims' accusers. And there's more to it. I ain't gonna read all that. She put this picture up right here. Jay-Z and Beyonce, and Jay-Z and Aaliyah with their ages. She's 15, he's 26. She's 16, he's 27. That was in 96 and 97. She put, are y'all understanding that these people have been sacrificing children as a way again? And I ain't gonna read all that, but she's talking about some sacrificial stuff. She put, again, your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in the satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and mutilate and kill them as a form of blood sacrifice to their god. And then at the end of this one, she put, the jig is up. So she taking shots directly at Jay-Z with that. The jig is up, Jigga. Should I do a daily story time about who's been doing what? Yes, or of course. She put options for a survey. She put Trevor, I don't know what she's talking about in this one. She says Trevor refuses to come out the closet when everyone in the industry knows his boyfriend, allegedly. So I don't know who Trevor is. Anybody know who Trevor is, or somebody named Trevor that be around Jay-Z, I guess? I don't know who Trevor is. And she put, they sabotaged my documentary because I spoke about the abuse I suffered. They've been trying to install all my projects in hopes of I lose a bunch of money and beg them for help. The leaders still think it's a joke. Oh, Trevor Noah, Ashley Milan, 3087 put Trevor Noah. Oh, that's what you talking about, Trevor Noah. Oh, shit. Jay-Z allegedly with Trevor Noah. I never really connected the two. Like, do they work together? I never even seen Jay-Z. I don't be paying attention to this stuff anyway, but damn, this got 2.1 million views, 30,000 hearts, 5,000 retweets, 2,000.6 comments. Yeah, so Ashley Milan put Trevor Noah, and she said, then you said, didn't he host the Grammy? Oh, I didn't watch it. I don't know. Oh, maybe that's what it is. Shit, maybe that's what it is. Let me see real quick. I didn't watch the Grammys, but that's what I said. I think set her off the Grammys because this is during the Grammys. So I tried to do this on like the regular, with the regular way on the laptop, but for some reason when I put Nicki Minaj's profile into the OBS, it wouldn't like update. So I put the best dressed love. I put Grammys host. Let me see. Trevor Noah. Oh, right here. Grammys host Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah says Donald Trump and Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton during 2026 Grammys over Epstein ties. The president needs a new island. Yeah, good looking out. Ashley Milan. That's what she's talking about. Trevor Noah. She defending Trump. Yeah, that shit is crazy. Armin Johnson 2032 said hi. What's good? I guess you talking to me. He said hi. Yeah, she talking about Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah shade to Bill Clinton during 2026. Trevor Noah can help him make a dig at the expense of Donald Trump and Bill Clinton over their ties to Jeffrey Epstein during the Grammys. Yeah. He said I was watching her crash out tonight on X. That's what I'm looking at right now. The X. This is the X I was doing the video about. The X. She crashing the fuck out on here, boy. Especially when it caught me off. I was reading it, and it caught me off guard in this part. She was like, or she say, I didn't come to it yet. Talking about Lizzo. She said, Fat Lizzo lost 300 pounds. She said, Fat Lizzo lost 300 pounds just to sell 300 albums. So now she has loose skin and a flop album and a weird charge. Sheesh. Like, what Lizzo got to do with anything? You know what I'm saying? Like, how come this ain't clear? You can't even. It's like a thing there now. I think the words before was clear, but now they not. But yeah, man. There you go. Yeah, she went in on Lizzo. Of course, Jay-Z. I don't know, man. That's about it. I seen this shit. I seen it on Facebook. Somebody shared it. I was like, what the fuck? She going hard at Jay-Z. Like I said, in this day and age, you got to be careful celebrating too early. We're in the age of Yeah, my phone done died. So I gotta restart this and start over. Not start over, but I'm about to just end it. Probably still on here. I had to restart my phone, plug it in, and all this shit. I had to run downstairs to my charger real quick. Lizzo and SZA close friends. I don't really know because I used to be a fan. So she probably high posting that. That's what I said. She probably high out of her damn mind putting all that shit up there. She put up there. I had to come down here though, plug my phone in real quick. My charger working good. Phone messing around and died. But I'm gonna end it though. Shout out to everybody that came through.